Right, so this is a weird fault. I bought this car from a customer who had it diagnosed with someone else, and I were after buying cars. So I went out and he says, "Yep, I've had a guy come out diagnosed it needs an ECU." So right, okay, paid the man, and it's been sat for about 3 months. I'll tell you a story behind it. I went and just bought an ECU kit online. Didn't even look at it. I paid next to nothing for the car. It's low mileage on a 2008, so I weren't going to lose any money. I could scrap it and get my money back. But I wanted to fix this fault. So let me just talk to you and tell you what the fault is. So key in ignition on. Try and start it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing, look. It'd been sat for about 9 months. So I put a new battery on it because battery was knackered. So padlock signs on. Anyway, I'll show you what comes up on computer. Right, so on the computer, it's coming up with, on engine, no system response, or responded. And then we go down to ABS. ABS we're getting, that's just a battery voltage issue. Engine control unit, present. Engine control unit, sorry, NCM present. Then we've got engine torque signal. So it's not communicating with ECU. It's not even attempting to turn over this vehicle. Instruments panel. No communication with airbag, that's intermittent. Don't worry about that one yet. Then we go in multifunctions and into body control module. We've got electrical steering, intermittent, that's all down to battery. Engine control unit, again, permanent fault codes. Mini crypt, permanent, cannot delete. Power steering's got fault codes, again, down to battery basically. Right, so we try and delete these, they don't delete. So I fitted an ECU kit to it, didn't cure it. And I was like really annoyed because obviously this guy's paid someone to come out to look at it for them to tell him it needs an ECU kit. He does that. I fitted an ECU kit to it without testing, because that ECU kit was 30 quid. So anyway, it didn't work, didn't cure it. That's why clocks are still loose. So I thought, it's after Christmas, after New Year, and I'm a bit bored, and I thought, well, perfect time to have a look at this punto. So it was down at yard, I've dragged it up to my house. I thought, we'll have a look. So first thing I did was to check earth. Obviously you've got an earth lead down the side of the car. So this is your earth lead. It comes down, well, this one here comes down, bolts to the chassis just there where I've greased it, and then bolts just under the slave cylinder. There is another bolt, 13mm, what holds it to the gearbox. So basically I did a continuity test, can't say that word, and it came up with 0 ohms, so we knew that earth lead were working. I also, just to double check, used a jump lead on the negative terminal to the engine, multiple points, just to make sure, just to rule that out. Because like I said, I fitted an ECU kit, just because they're not that hard to fit and it was 30 quid. What also I did, I checked every single fuse, just to make sure, just to double check. No fuses had gone, so I'm stood there scratching my head. And I thought, well, it's going to be ECU related. So I searched and searched and searched and searched and searched for a pinout for this ECU. It's the or is it 1AW, so it might be IAW or 1AW. I believe it's IAW 5SF3M1.M1. And this is the number. So if you've got an ECU issue and padlock lights on, it's not turning over, this is your ECU pin up for the 1.28 valve. Make sure the numbers are correct. Pretty much sure if it's a slightly different one, it might be the same, but don't run risk. So after looking at this, you've got pin 15 ground, so that's your earth, that one there, pin 15. Pin 16 and pin 1 should have 12 volts running to it. So I tested pin 16. I'm not getting, sorry, I was getting 12.2 volts, which is the battery voltage. See, like I said, this battery hasn't been run. I put it on, it's sat. I tested pin 1, 0 volts. That's with ignition on. So right, I stripped all the wires back to look at the wiring. Cannot find a break in the wire. But further up the line, I'm getting 11.9 volts. So this is the red and green wire, which goes to pin 1 of the ECU. Sorry, nearly dropped me new Note 10. So as you can see here, I'm getting 0 volts. On pin 16, I'm getting 11.9 volts. And on pin 15, it's earth. So this is earthing. So there must be a break in the wire. So after further examination, the customer did say to me it was an intermittent starter. So looking through the wire very carefully, you've got a broken wire. I mean, this car's worth what, 1,500 quid, maybe a little bit more, maybe a bit less. That wire is definitely broken, and as you can see, I don't know how good this camera will be, it's oxidised, so the wire's broken there. So as you can see, now I've got the probe on it, ready to probe it with 12 volts. I've got my lovely assistant, hi, who's going to turn it over. So, yep. Get a bit of gas. It's not been started in a while. Oops. Now. My assistant had to sit in the car. Go on. Go on. And again. Well. 1 minute. 1 minute. She's sat in car. What the fuck's going on? Right. And again. As you can see. Alright. As you can see, with 12 volts down, well 13.8 now, but no alternator works. As you can see, it works. As soon as I let 12 volt off, dies. So this wire just needs repairing.